welcome back to the show. It is time for us to discuss our top story. Now, on the 19th day of June is celebrated as World Sickle Cell Day. And a lot of people do not understand the importance. Some do understand the importance of celebrating Sickle Cell Day, but we do have someone here who would explain better. We're talking about Bukola Bolarinwa. She's the president of the Sickle Cell Foundation. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It's actually the Sickle Cell Aid Foundation.
Sickle Cell Aid Foundation.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
nice
thank you very much.
All right, and we do have one of the recipients of your foundation, Mofeola Adisagbo. Thank you for joining us.
Nice to have you on Hello Nigeria.
All right, we'll talk about you, Mofe, but let's start with you. The World Sickle Cell Day, why is it important that there's a special day set aside for the celebration of sickle cell?
Okay, well, sickle cell is actually the greatest genetically passed down disorder, and Nigeria actually suffers the highest incidence of sickle cell in the world. So the WHO came up with this day in order to raise awareness about sickle cell, how it's passed down, how it's better managed, and just for people to know about this disorder.
Okay.
And what are the most important things, pieces of information parents and people should know in general about the disease?
Okay, I mean, what our foundation has mostly, our mantra has always been know your genotype. It's very important. A lot of Nigerians don't know that they carry the sickle cell gene. Almost 40% of Nigerians actually carry the sickle cell gene. So if they have children, there's a chance that they can pass it on, yes, to their children. So the main message that we always pass is know your genotype.
Okay, and have there been ways? A lot of people have said that there have been ways by which we can avoid this or we can deal with it in the event we have sickle cell children. But I'll come back to that. I want to speak with Mofeola. Mofeola, you are living with sickle cell. Yes. I don't know, at what age did you know you had sickle cell? At what age did you know what sickle cell was?
I would say when I was in secondary school, about 15 years, 16 years. That should be 2004, 5, around that period.
2004 and 5. And when you found out about it, did you find out about it from school or?
No, I had serious complaints. I was sick. I was having stomach pains and all that. It was getting so serious. So I was admitted and they told me I had spleen problems, spleen sequestration. So I was like confused at what's the meaning of that and all that. So the doctor was like, it's actually related because of my genotype. So that was when I found out that I had sickle cell, because they said it's predominant with people living with sickle cell disease.
And before then, have you been having several crises?
Yeah, then I used to fall sick like normal malaria, typhoid, but there wasn't that awareness that it could be something serious like sickle cell disease.
But before then, did your parents have any idea about their genotype before they got married?
Actually, my mom is late, so and my dad is not really he wasn't really that informed about things like that.
I'm guessing you're the only one in your family that.
No, I'm not the okay in my family.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't really say, but for my mom's, I'm the I had a junior brother, but he's late now, so I'm the only one with sickle cell. And I have another brother, but he's AS. But I'm SS.
Okay, we saw you holding this, and you came with a platform. You were supposed to sit on something. What is the issue right now?
Okay, the thing is, after school, I finished 2012. And I started having some complications with my leg. Though I used to have normal bone crisis, I started with sickle cell. So we started getting more serious. And along the line, I was diagnosed with a vascular necrosis. It's actually a condition that has to do with the bone, actually my hip bone. There was shortage of blood circulation to the hip bone. So it resulted in the bones collapsing. So I couldn't walk. I started having pain. My two legs, it affected the two hip joints. So I couldn't put pressure on the two legs. I couldn't walk. I couldn't open my legs. I couldn't do so many things. So I had to, they diagnosed that I have to go for total hip replacement surgery. They have to remove the damaged hips and replace it with new implants, the new hip and all that, femur and all that. So with the help of Sickle Cell Aid Foundation Nigeria, they helped me with the surgery and everything. So I was able to go for so it was modifications for the surgery was that I had to be on crutches so as to balance, because I've only had one hip done, which is the right hip. So to balance the other leg, that's why I have to use my crutches. And then in order for the implant not to shift from its position, I have to use the raised seat, at least for a period of time till it's used properly.
Wow, we really don't understand the importance of life. But we've been speaking with Mofeola Adisagbo, and she is someone who has been a recipient of the Sickle Cell Foundation, as well as the president of the Sickle Cell Foundation. We'll be going on a quick break. When we come back, we'll still be speaking with them, and then we'll be opening the phone line. So if you live with sickle cell, or you have anyone who lives with sickle cell, and you have questions to ask, you can please call in. But right now, it's Recharge Card Zap. Congratulations to you if you won the recharge cards. We've been speaking with the president of the Sickle Cell Aid Foundation, and we've also been speaking with a recipient. And you've shared a very touching story with us. We're going to ask my question.
My question goes to the president of the Sickle Aid Foundation, Bukola Bolarinwa. There's a lot of attention around a small group of, surrounding a very small group of patients, approximately about 400 people, who have been cured of the sickle cell disease through hematopoietic stem cell transplant. Can we say it's a curable disease, even though this number is quite minute?
It's
and
still...
how do you, what are the best ways to manage it?
Okay, the first question, stem cell research and bone marrow transplants are still very much in the research phase. They have been quite successful in children, especially children that are susceptible to stroke. So in terms of it being a cure, yes, it definitely helps. But because it can only help a very specific group of people, it's difficult to say it's a cure. In order to do a successful stem cell transplant, you must have a match. The match preferably will be a sibling who has, you know, so that there's...
Compatible donors are quite scarce.
It's very difficult.
And very expensive too.
It's very expensive. We're actually doing a talk on that as part of World Sickle Cell Day to raise awareness for bone marrow transplant for eligible patients. So, I mean, in terms of it being a cure, it's something that we're definitely promoting. Secondly, about how to live with sickle cell, that's the question, right? Sickle cell is one of those diseases that it comes in so many variations. It's difficult to say this. Everybody do this.
Oh, yes.
It's just about having a very good healthcare plan, having a doctor that can put you in the right sort of course for your disease. But in general living standards: avoid stress, avoid cold or heat, eat very well, avoid any sort of exertion, avoid infections, malaria, just normal things that a person would do, but just to probably a higher extent.
Okay, there are a lot of people that are watching that either have sickle cell, are living with it, having crisis upon crisis.
Or have friends or relatives.
Or friends or relatives. What would be your words to them?
And the advice is that they shouldn't feel like they're on their own, like it's the end of the world, really. There's a world beyond feeling like you actually have all, because at times you can feel depressed, feeling the fact that you fall sick most times,
pain episodes
and all
too,
that,
yeah.
repeated episode and all that. And again, at times you feel, some people actually, they have this when they're around you, they always feel like maybe you start having this kind of feeling like you don't really flow with people around you, because you're always feeling like you're different.
Like a burden.
Exactly, like you're different from them and all that. So you shouldn't feel that way. You should just try and be yourself, enjoy life, you know. And when you're sick, just try and be optimistic that things can always get better and that it could have been worse. Do you understand? Or at least the fact that we are still surviving is a testimony that
Very
things
true. Do you have an event coming up anytime soon?
Yes, we actually have
a
series of events to mark World Sickle Cell Day. This Saturday, we're having a walk in Ikeja, the coalition of other sickle cell foundations, and we're also having a talk on bone marrow transplants on the 22nd. We're getting some doctors flown in, and they're going to talk to sickle cell patients and medical practitioners on how bone marrow transplant can be used.
Are you open to donations?
Of course.
I mean, just had to ask. It's very important.
We work entirely on private donations. That's entirely how
And finally, how can people reach out to you via social media?
We have our Instagram at @scaf_Nigeria, Twitter @scaf Nigeria.
SCAF.
SCAF, yes.
Okay.
So
Sickle Cell AIDS
AIDS
Foundation.
Foundation
Exactly.
_, Nigeria, on all social media
On all
platforms.
social media
All
platforms.
right, thank you very much for
been a
speaking with
pleasure
us.
having you.
We
Thank you
wish
for
you all
having
the
us.
best
Thank
and
you.
we wish
Thank you
you
very much.
good health.
We hope
wish
you
you
come for
strength.
our events.
Hopefully.
Yes.
All right, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be going on a break, and this time around, it's a lecture for those of you who love our tasting segments. Remember I told you we have prawn tails, Hollandaise sauce, creamy lemon sauce, and marinated prawns. Take a look.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love am.